Morning grade twos. I hope you are all well. Hopefully this week is a little bit warmer and not as cold as the last week has been, and I hope that you are all well. Today we're going to be doing some fractions, and the important part about fractions is that we share things equally. So here I have a nice bar one chocolate, and as most of you know, I have got 3 children at home. So I thought I'd share this between my 3 children. And once I've shared it, you can tell me if you think that the 3 of them would be happy with each piece that they are getting. So Mia is the smallest, so I would give her just a little piece. Then Hannah comes and she's a little bit older, so she can have a bigger piece. And then there's Timothy and he can have his piece. If your mum shared a chocolate like that between 3 of you children, would you be happy? No. Most of you would say to me, that's unfair, Mrs. Trimpleman. It's not fair that some get small pieces, somebody gets a medium piece, and somebody gets a big piece. We want all the pieces to be the same size. And when we're working in fractions, we need to remember this chocolate and that we want to have the same amount that each person gets, either to eat or to play with. So sharing in fractions has to be equal. Right, so here we have a fraction wall and we have a whole that we're going to look at today. We're going to look at halves, we're going to look at thirds, quarters, and lastly, fifths. You are going to draw these or cut up paper to make these fractions. Here I have a piece of paper that I'm using as my whole. It hasn't been cut. It is a whole piece of paper, which is quite important because we need to know what size we are starting with. I then take that piece of paper and I fold it in half. I have written half on this side and 1/2 in words. This is the number way we write our half, and this is how we write it in words. Most of the time in grade 2 we use the words. So when I folded it in half, how many parts have I got? Well, let's see. Let's cut it out and we'll see. Right, so here's 1/2 and another half. And I need 2 halves to make my whole. So I need 2 halves to make my whole. With my thirds, I had to be a little bit more careful. I couldn't just fold the paper. I had to measure it. So I measured how many centimeters it was across, and then I measured how big each third needed to be. Maybe you'll need to ask your parents to help you. On the homework sheet that I've sent, I've used a circle that's been divided into thirds, and you can use that as well. So again, we cut it up. And now how many parts have we got? We have 1, 2, 3 that makes our third. 1/3 in words, and if we want to write it as a fraction, we write 1/3. The 3 at the bottom tells us that it's divided into 3 equal parts. Don't forget the equal parts. Okay. Right, for quarters, I was able to fold my paper in half. So I folded it in half like we did for halves, and then I folded it in half again. And then when we open it up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. And if we cut it up along the lines that I folded, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. For what? We have 4 equal parts. Remember my chocolate, nobody wants to get the smallest piece. Right, here we have fifths, and the fifth should tell you how many equal parts I'm cutting it into. That's right, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is my fifth written as numbers, and here is 1/5 written as words. Again, with the fifths, you're going to have to ask mom and dad to help you measure your piece of paper so that you land up with 5 equal parts like the thirds. I have put it onto your homework worksheet, so if they can print that off, it will show you the fifths when it comes to a circle.